Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, Become Better. In today's video we're going to talk all about anxiety. Anxiety is not good. If I'm being honest with you, anxiety, it's terrible because you get a thought and then that thought becomes a feeling and then that feeling becomes anxiety. So a lot of the anxiety comes from thoughts, and thoughts, if you think about a thought for like multiple days, it's then gonna become a feeling, and then that feeling is going to become anxiety. And there was this experiment that they did where they gave a bunch of people a real pill which helps them become better, not like the YouTube channel name, but become better because they had like an illness. And the other people, they gave a pill and it wasn't a real pill, it was like a sugared pill, but the patients didn't know that. And what they learned is the pill that had nothing in it, they still got better. It's called the placebo effect, I think. It's where basically your brain thinks of certain things and then your brain thinks it's getting better, but you're not actually taking anything, it's all in the mind. So that's how powerful the mind can be. And I understand how hard anxiety can be because I've been there, you know, I've had like mini panic attacks, anxiety attacks and things like that, and it's not fun. And I think it's just like giving yourself time to breathe, slow down, maybe give yourself a space where it's more, where it's more calm, like a studio or your home or something like that. Sometimes when you're like out in public or in a busy space, your anxiety can be worse. So it's just like, you know, going back home and maybe like taking your mind off it, watching a film, a movie, your favourite film or your favourite movie, or, you know, having your favourite meal or something, it can really help. Obviously, in this topic, I can't go through all the anxieties because there's lots of different anxieties, and also disclaimer, I'm not a health professional, I'm just saying everything through my experience and things like that. So, with anxiety, like, you can worry about things, but worrying doesn't fix anything, it doesn't solve anything, and worrying also doesn't, if you worry for like 5 hours throughout your day, that is a waste of 5 hours because instead you could have been doing something else. You could have been productive, you could have been making videos, you could be going ice skating, you could be doing your hobbies, doing your passions, working on your business or your work endeavours, you know. So most of the time worrying is a waste of time because it really doesn't help you, it doesn't move you forward, etc., etc., and things like that. And when you're worrying about something new, because a lot of people start a new job and they get anxiety about it because they haven't done it before, I'd say if you're getting anxiety because you're starting something new, that is completely normal. It's a normal feeling because when you haven't done something before, you're going to get anxiety before you do it. But the more you do something, the less you're going to get anxiety because you become used to it. And then when you become used to it, it becomes your schedule. And then, you know, when something becomes your schedule, you get to the point where you're like, oh, this is now part of my schedule, so I don't worry about it as much, you know, and things like that. So, and when something becomes a part of your schedule, you get to the point where you do it on autopilot. It's like driving a car, riding a bike, or walking, you know, you don't think about walking because it's the part, you know, you've done it since you've been a child, you know, so it's autopilot, you know, so, and probably as a child you probably had anxiety about walking, but now most people don't have anxiety about walking, so that's just like an example I can give on the top of my head. So the more you do something, the more you'll become immune, and then you know, we're creatures of habit, things like that, and, you know, you'll be fine. So anxiety is just worrying a lot. And yeah, so it's not nice to have anxiety. I think everyone experiences anxiety, and also if you do have anxiety, don't beat yourself up about it. Just try and be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, and things like that. And because honestly, like, there's no point of beating yourself up about worrying about something. And most of the time we do worry about things excessively, and then it ends up being nothing. If you have if you have a health scare or something, most of the time it is nothing. But I would also say always get it checked out by a doctor, just for peace of mind and things like that. And then also social anxiety, which is another one. Honestly, like, this is an example, but I'm a dance teacher, and I used to get anxiety about, I do got a lot of anxiety about social anxiety, and people always like looking at me and like caring what I think. But when I got to a certain age, I'm about to turn 23, I'm still young, trying to give advice, but I've now come to the conclusion that no one really cares as much as I thought they cared, because everyone has different lives, they can't be thinking, oh, look at that girl, why is she doing that, They might think that, but most of the time they don't say it, and even if they do say it, then you shouldn't really care about a stranger's opinion, because, like, they don't, like, you are the expert of your life. You know what you want, you know what you desire, things like that. Everyone around you, obviously listen to your family and your friends, but when it comes to, like, strangers on the street or strangers, your clients or whatever, take what they say with a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt, meaning don't take everything to heart. Especially if you're running a dance business, don't take everything to heart. Or if you're running a business in general, don't take everything to heart, because people will be mean, people will be rude, people will say things you don't like, and people will also say things you don't want to hear, etc., etc. But it's just about, knowing who you are, and you are the expert of your own life. So never let anyone tell you you're doing something wrong with your life, or you should change your life, or you should do your art differently, things like that, because you're the expert of your own life. You can only decide that. Other people are just the back noise, and you've got to figure out what you want and what you don't want. If someone says to you, you should do this, and you don't want to do that, then you don't have to do that, But when it comes back to social anxiety, no one really cares as much as you think they care. No one's looking at you as much as they're looking at you. Because when I became a teacher, I realised that no one cares. I thought everyone did care. People care about certain things, but they don't care much about, like, how you look, or how they're probably more focused on how they look rather than how you look as a teacher. Or, like, whatever you do, whatever career you do, like, no one cares as much as you care. So yeah, it's just about, like, accepting that and just being like, yeah, people can do what they want and people can judge me, but I'm still gonna stay true to you. I'm gonna say that again, stay true to you. That is really important, because never let anyone beat yourself up or about how you look or how you are as a person, because you are special. You are literally, there's no one like you, so why do you want to be anyone else? And comparison as well. Never compare yourself. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of your time, because you're on a different journey than someone else, so yeah, that is all the time I have for today. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, let me know what you thought in your section down below, and yeah, peace guys.